Hello, creative friends, and welcome to the Stamping Squad. My name is Cheryl Dorsey. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I have a really beautiful card for you today. Look at this gorgeous card using the Splendid Day suite, and this suite is in the current mini catalog, the July to December 2022 catalog. And I used a variety of pieces from that suite. So let's get started making this gorgeous card. So let me show you specifically what I used. This is the suite, Splendid Day suite. And so we are going to be using the stamp set. We are going to be using dies. And we are going to be using this gorgeous designer series paper. The photograph couldn't possibly do it justice because one side of each of these papers is foil. So really, truly beautiful, beautiful paper. All right, let's see what pieces we need here. Let's start with a piece of thick, basic white cardstock. It's 5.5 by 8 1/4. And actually that's 8 1/2. 5.5 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So sorry about that. My hand was writing faster than my brain was going, apparently. All right, then we need a piece of designer series paper, 4 inches by 5 1/4. Another piece of basic white, 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And a piece of designer series paper, 3 inches by 4 inches. And this is just the reverse side of the piece that I used here. And then you're also going to need a basic white scrap for us to stamp and die cut out our sentiment. Okay, so let's get started. Let's do stamping first. So I'm just going to bring out a piece of scrap paper here. I was using this paper earlier today with the same stamp set, so you can see me doing a little test mark there. So I'm going to grab this scrap of basic white, and I'm going to grab my Pool Party stamp pad, and let me see. I need to clean off my stamp. It's dirty, look. I've been stamping a lot with this set, and even earlier today, and I hadn't cleaned off my stamp yet. So I'm just using a Simply Chamois, and I'm going to clean off that stamp just like that. All right, here we go. Now we're ready. So I'm going to ink up this stamp, stamp the words, "Let's Celebrate," on this piece of basic white cardstock. There we go. And then what we need to do next is use this die out of the set. And I showed you the dies in the catalog, but let me just show you in person here. So there are the dies that come with this, including this one. Okay. So I would take this die and this that we just stamped and run it through my cut and emboss machine, and voila, this is what we get. So I'm just going to set that aside, and then I want to do some stamping on my card base. I didn't show you the inside of this, but I did choose to do some stamping on the inside of the card. So let's do that with the card that we're making right now. I'm going to take my basic white card base and fold it on the score line, and then use my bone folder to burnish so we get a really nice crisp fold there. And whoops, there's my little sticker. We don't need that anymore, do we? Okay, so what I did was to use, it's kind of like a two-step stamp. Use this outline stamp first, and I just put it kind of down here in the corner. There we go. And then we have this filler stamp, And this set is very artistic, so it's not literal. So this is not made to exactly fit the leaves that are there. It's just kind of a suggestion or a shadow, just a way to add some color. And you see I stamped off first there because I want this to be lighter than the first stamp of the outline that I did. So see how that's lighter? Very nice. Okay, believe it or not, I think that's all the stamping. So I'm just going to set this aside. All right, here we go. Now, what do we need? Let's take some of these layers. This card's got lots of layers. Makes it really gorgeous, with lots of interest. So we're going to put this here. And I did not mention, the card I showed you at the beginning was a landscape orientation, but the card I'm making now is going to be a portrait orientation. So we need to adhere this piece of designer series paper, and this is soft seafoam. That's what it's called, soft seafoam. And I am going to be really light. You may not even be able to see it with the glue here because with these foil papers, if you put a big glob of glue, it's going to create a bump, and you're going to be able to see that on the foil here on the other side. You'll see that there's a bump sticking up, and we don't want that. So there we go. You could also use like a tape adhesive. That would also work and prevent you from getting that bumpy look. Okay, so now let's take this little piece of basic white, and I think I'm going to do something different besides, I would want to change everything, besides changing to a portrait orientation. You see on this one, with the white piece, I squared it up with the first layer. And then the third layer, I put an angle. And I think I'm going to do that just the opposite here. I think I'm going to put this at an angle, and then I will make this match up with the back, just for something different, right? We can't always do the same thing over and over and over again. All right. So I didn't cut anything differently from the card that you saw before, but I am just arranging my layers a little bit differently. All right. There we go. Mixing things up just a little. All right, now this one I'm going to put on, and it's almost a shame to cover up that beautiful foil, but that is what I'm going to do. That is what I'm going to do. All right, now this, I want it to be squared up with my first piece of DSP that I put here. So let me see if I can get this reasonable position. Again, love my liquid glue because I can kind of move things around a little bit. There we go. Yeah, happy with that. That looks really pretty. All right, so we just have a couple steps to go. So our sentiment is going to go on here, but we're going to have a couple of die cuts peeking out from behind our sentiment. So I've already done some die cuts here. This is one in the pool party, and this one is in petal pink. So I'm going to put those together right on the back of this, and then we're going to put this on our card. I love it. Now, when I get a set that has die cuts like that, ones that are meant to be cut out of cardstock, I will just sit down and cut a bunch. I've just cut a bunch, and then I have them, and whenever I want to make cards, they are ready to go. So you want to see my stash? So I just took some scrap pieces of cardstock in the different colors that were in this designer series paper, and I cut out a whole bunch of those. So I have those, they're on hand, they're ready to go. I just put them in a little plastic sleeve, and I would put this inside here with the stamps. So whenever I pull out the stamp set to make something, I know I already have those ready to go. So that's my hot take for today. I don't have too many hot takes, but I think that's a good one. So when you have time, it's good if you can just go ahead and die cut out some of those things, and they're ready to go. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue on that, and then let's see, how do I want to put this? I'm just gonna put it right here. Now these are kind of delicate, so you're gonna be a little bit careful with them, and I'm just gonna hold that for a minute, let it dry for a second, let it kind of set up. And then I'm going to put a tiny, tiny bit of glue on the back here, and then I can put this on my card. And now I'm basically just taking kind of whatever is left on the tip of my glue, and I'm just gonna put a little bit out here and there. You really don't want to use too much glue, because then you'll end up with a squishy situation, right? And that's not what we want. All right, so I am gonna put this right here. I'm gonna press that down. And also, when you're doing these things, if you end up with a little glue on your fingers, you wanna get that cleaned off before you start pressing down, because they'll just stick back to your fingers and you're lifting them up, and that's not what we want either, right? So there we go. Now we've got our Let's Celebrate that we're gonna put on here. And I am going to use some dimensionals. Surprise, surprise. If you have watched me, you know I love using dimensionals. So that was pretty predictable. Okay. Get the backs off of them here. And put this. All right, so again, let me see if I can get this on here kind of straight. There we go. Just like that. I am very happy with that. Well, we could leave it there, but when you have an opportunity to put some embellishments on, why not, right? I am going to use these Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels, and we'll just put a few of these on here. Just gonna use the small ones, and I think I'll put one here. And let's see, let's put one here. And one more. Put it like right here. There we go. Oh, I love the way that turned out. And then when they open it up, there's a beautiful surprise inside. So that's one. Remember, I showed you this one earlier. Landscape versus portrait orientation. Paper from the same paper pack, but certainly different colors. And then I do have one more to show you. This one was using the Fresh Freesia that's in the pack. And it's also in the landscape orientation. So what do you think? Now this one, let me point this out to you. This one does have embellishments on it. I don't even know if you can see them though, because they're clear. They're perfectly clear. They almost look like a drop of water. So there we go. So I cannot decide what color I like the best. I like all the paper in this package, but if you have a favorite, let me know which color you like, and if you prefer the landscape or the portrait orientation. So I have made a couple other cards in with this suite of products, and so I'm going to link one of them here, but you can always come to my channel, scroll through the videos. You'll spot the other one pretty quickly because it hasn't been very long ago. But I do hope you'll come back, watch some more videos, and leave me some comments. All right, thank you very much. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.